Hi, I'm Chris from Future Music and we're here on the Dubreq stand with the new Stylophone. We're with Ben, he's going to take us through some sounds and show this new product. So I'll hand over to Ben. Hi Ben.
Hi there. Yeah, Stylophone S2. Basically, a lot of people know what the original Stylophone is. Original Stylophone. This is obviously a very simple instrument. We've always kind of wanted, given that the Stylophone's been used by so many famous artists, Bowie and Orbital and all these great groups, we kind of always wanted to do something a bit more serious with it. So that's what this is. Unlike the current mass market Stylophone, this is true analog synthesizer. So it's not digital at all. It's got a touch-sensitive keyboard, which can either be played with a stylus or with your finger. It's a 3-octave keyboard, but it's also got an up and down octave shift, so you can go horribly high and very low, which is quite cool. A lot of the work on this has kind of gone into trying to squeeze the amount of functionality and all the bells, whistles and knobs that would normally go into a synth that was, you know, twice the size of a briefcase into something that was this big. So a lot of these buttons and things have multiple functions, which is all explained in the instruction manual. We've gone the little the Iron Man LED display, as it's been nicknamed, has a load of functions that kind of gives you feedback. If I change, like for example, I change the frequency of the oscillator, you can see it shows up there. If you even change the volume, it shows up on there. So lots of clever things. Got all the sort of features you'd expect out of any kind of synthesizer. Detune the oscillators one at a time in order to make all kinds of fun, crunchy sounds out of it. We very much decided that this was going to be like seriously analog and appeal to all of the hardcore analog synth geeks from the outset. So there's a few clever little things in there that haven't been seen in analog synthesizers for a few years. People said to us, oh, you know, I used to have this synth when I was younger that used to do this, and we sort of took a lot of that on board and threw things in there that haven't been seen for a while. So
things like
ring modulation. I hadn't actually heard of ring modulation, but a couple of people said, oh, so-and-so used to make this synth that had ring modulation, and it was a really great feature. So I chatted to the guy who's doing the electronics and said, have you heard of ring modulation? He said, oh yeah, that was quite cool. And I said, can we put that in it? And he goes, yeah, I don't see why not. So a lot of things got thrown in there to try and make it appeal as much as possible to sort of, I mean, obviously, it's primarily a portable performance synthesizer, but there's lots of cool stuff in there that's going to make a lot of people sort of say, wow, I could do with that in my studio because I've got nothing else that can make that sound.
Yeah. So what about connectivity? I see we've got...
Yeah, again, we've sort of stuck with the sort of hardcore analog theme. It's got a control voltage input, which can easily be converted to MIDI. You can get MIDI to CV converters. It's also got a trigger input. It's got a 1/4-inch line out, headphone line out, and a 3.5mm line in. So one of the things you can actually use it as, like an analog effects box for other instruments. So you can run a guitar into it and actually use the filters and the envelope generators with other instruments as well, which gives it another aspect that will appeal to a lot of other musical people. So it's battery powered. It's got a little battery compartment, takes 4 AA batteries. Stylus sits in the back there.
But it's these triggers on the side.
That's basically, it's got that's volume up and down buttons.
Yeah.
Power button, and the little black button there is actually an auto-tune button. One of the things that happens with analog synthesizers, as they warm up, the oscillators start to drift and the thing sort of goes out of sequence. So we put this auto-tune function in, which basically you press the button and you'll see it's actually going through octave by octave, tuning itself. Normally it's the sort of thing you have to do with a screwdriver with the back off to make these things happen. So yeah, so that's quite a cool feature.
So it's available now?
Yeah, literally we've started making this just after Christmas. So we are, Dubreq ourselves are actually making this. This is the first product we've physically made ourselves. So this is handmade in the UK by us. All being well, assuming we're literally launching it here to the trade at NAMM, assuming it goes well, we'll be going into sort of slightly larger batch production, but we're literally here sort of taking retailers on now as we speak.
And what kind of price point are you looking for retail?
UK price point is going to be about £299.
Okay. Euros, dollars, any ideas?
Dollars, I think it's $399. Not sure what the euro price is, but works out somewhere in between,
yeah.
somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
But people have either said to us, oh, that's really expensive for a stylophone, or wow, that's really cheap for a British-made analog synthesizer, and the latter's kind of more accurate. I mean, in terms of anything else that's on the market that's got this kind of spec, you're looking at sort of 3 or 4 times that price. So for what it does, and as you can see, I mean, this is all custom aluminium extrusions, machined end caps and everything, so it's someone managed to drop one on the floor earlier and it carried on working perfectly well. So it's a quality bit of kit that's designed for serious musicians to lug around and throw in a bag and it keep working. So yeah, we're quite proud of it.